outside. Can we bring him in? Look, do it now. Do it now. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Please send me dirty pictures.
Sense.
It's good. You're turning into the future.
Good intentions.
Can you guys read that?
Oh, can you read it? Is it too late?
Just a little late.
It's fine.
Hey Hector, is this the same way?
Let me know if you don't know what it
I
says.
put my email in.
Yes.
Same thing or different?
Same thing. Yeah, I think. Yeah. So, as you can tell, these classes are free because I keep using the same shirts, not the same underwear. But I don't take any money. Yeah, I'm donating my time. The Three Jewels have donated this. I learned this stuff at the Three Jewels from Geshe Michael. You know, so the Three Jewels has been a place that's been alive since at least 1990 something, and it has provided a space for people who are looking for refuge in life, want to figure out a bit more than the stuff you get in the regular world, has provided that in the yogic tradition, in the Buddhist tradition, in the AA tradition, and a whole bunch of other traditions as well. This place is a non-profit. It only runs by donations. So if you've got the capacity, think about what it would take to run this place, and please contribute to the Three Jewels. There's a little bowl at the front. We don't even think about it. We come here and use the space. But I can't even put a price on the difference this philosophy has made to my life. I have seen things in my family shift utterly and totally. I've seen levels of happiness that I didn't think were possible between people. And I got an insight into things that I couldn't have found anywhere else. And if you're getting any wisdom or any information at all that could make your life meaningful, just with the right motivation and right intent, try and keep this place alive for the next people who come seeking some refuge from the world.
Spend $1 a day too if you're more serious.
Okay, yeah, and if you're a serious Dharma practitioner, there is $1 a day thing online. And that just keeps this place regularly alive. Is that what you wanted me to say? Or you wanted more? Yeah. I can do this, Sally's.
Is that through the threejewels.org?
Through the threejewels.org, there's a donate button. Yeah. And I highly encourage that. But do it with intention, good intent. In the next 10 minutes, I'm supposed to cover what we're supposed to do today in class. Say Jung Sem. What's Jung mean? Sem means mind. Jung is Buddhi or Buddha mind. The mind of a Buddha is sometimes translated out, but it's not correct. It's actually a word for bodhicitta, yeah, which means to have the mind set to become a Buddha for the sake of other living beings. So that's what we're going to talk about. Jung Sem, the other synonym is Semkye. Jung Chup Sempa is a longer version of that. If you have junged your obstacles, if you've junged your obstacles, you've removed those two obstacles to knowledge and the bad thoughts, yeah? Which gets you to be a Buddha. Which a Buddha, quality of a Buddha is that they're omniscient, not omnipotent. That's a difference, right? They don't have the power of creation, if you like, but they have the power to perceive every thing of every moment of time, past, present, and future. They can see everything. Bodhicitta then is the wish to achieve that state where where you have utterly removed all suffering and experience everything as bliss, and understand how and why, that you are constantly living in that ultimate nature of existence. You see how the fabric of reality works. Bodhicitta is wishing for that mindset of total wisdom for the sake of other beings who are caught up in this samsaric world. And when you have that wish, you are a bodhisattva. So, yeah, when you have that wish, you're a bodhisattva. And there's two types of bodhicitta. One's called sugarcane bodhicitta, because it's sweet and hollow, meaning it's not really bodhicitta, but it's a good place to start. Yeah. So when you get sugarcane bodhicitta, you get the idea of that wish. It's sweet to you. You can have this beautiful sensation of love towards other living beings, but it's a little hollow because it's not the ultimate bodhicitta. Real bodhicitta is what? Yeah, immediately after you have a direct perception of emptiness, you see the faces of every living being on the planet, and from your heart comes this beam of light. And you feel towards every living being that you see, like when I saw Aiden, when I saw my nephew. Like if you're a mum, you feel towards every being the way a mother feels towards their child. And then you have the first bodhisattva bhumi, which is the real bodhicitta. Imagine being capable of having that kind of love for one person, and you mums would know this, yeah? And then without any prejudice at all, because we're all in the same shit, having it for every other living being. I think Je Tsongkapa says, as you're falling off a cliff with another person, you're not going to sit there and say, I don't like your face, I didn't like the way you farted last week, I don't think Je Tsongkapa said that, but you don't have an argument falling down the cliff together with someone, Bodhicitta, for those of you who are at the teachings on the weekend, Geshe Michael was talking about his analogy or metaphor for getting close to that feeling, and that was when he was on that plane, and in that plane they couldn't get the landing gear down, and so they were preparing the plane for a crash landing. And he said that the feeling in the plane changed once everybody thought that the possibility of them all dying was real, and that people started holding hands, and people started crying and freaking out, and other people came and loved them. And then when they said, put your hands there or remove your rings, because as metal burns at high degrees, it will burn through your skin, or remove your shoes because you'll be able to run faster, and the rest. And as people got a sense of their mortality, they cared for each other in that plane. And he talked about how he saw people that might have just elbowed each other to try and get the right seat first, all of a sudden love that person. And if we're all going through these four sufferings together, then you'd have a similar feeling of love towards those people around you who might be sadder than you. You might have more capacity to care for them. So he talked about, when they were asked to put their heads down, that some people actually held hands with each other and consoled each other and wrote notes and hid them in places. And so bodhicitta is having that feeling forced upon you after the direct perception of emptiness. That's the real bodhicitta. So I'm going to talk about the 9 in 2 minutes. I'm going to talk about the 9 benefits of having bodhicitta. And feel free to look at them in your reading. They come from the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life by Master Shantideva, and they come from Chandrakirti's root text on emptiness. The first one, say Gewa, Namke, Gigyu. And this is, your good deeds are a cause for omniscience. So once you get real bodhicitta, this means that your good deeds or any good thought or speech or action you do are now imbued with this ultimate wish. It has a special quality. It's got a power to it. It will deliver you omniscience. It will deliver you that quality of Buddhahood. Any good deed you do without bodhicitta will give you a good result, right? We said that about karma, good. But what kind of good result? An impure limited one that will end, that will be in this cycle. Yeah? It would just turn. But because you've had the direct perception of emptiness and you've got this feeling of love, you have a clear understanding without doubt, then any goodness will be a cause for Buddhahood. And any badness, can you do any badness after you've seen emptiness directly? Can you have a moment of anger or frustration? Of course you can. Of course you can.
Just with the understanding that of the implications.
Yeah, you don't remove that until the fifth path, right? Out of the 5 paths, you see the path of seeing, and then you've got to clean up your crap, which means you'll still feel anger, you still feel frustration, but even in those moments where you might have been frustrated, if your mind is imbued with bodhicitta, that has a nominal, a silly result.
You can also just see it as old karma ripening.
It is old karma ripening. You see it that way because you understand where it comes from. So say Plami, Chakjar, Upa. Right, Upa. In Argentina, you do that to a baby. Upa, Upa. You are a person worthy to be bowed down to by humans and gods. What that means is that in the cycle of samsara, there is the 6 realms, and you have these pleasure beings. That's what gods mean here. Pleasure beings. There are beings, there are said to be beings, you don't have to believe it, it's just part of this understanding, that have had the karma to have a more pleasurable experience than this human flesh and blood. Their bodies are made of something different. They don't coexist with us. We don't see them often. Sometimes they appear. I guess the closest you could get is our idea of the Greek gods and so on. Yeah, they have had the karma to produce a blissful paradisical experience that is also caught up in samsara, which means it ends. So they'll have long, long lives of pleasure and lots of nice undies moments. Yeah, but I don't know why I just pointed to you.
Earlier.
Yeah, I think so. I know. I was just calling you out. I know. But that runs out because it's still in the samsaric world view. It doesn't have correct understanding. So even pleasure beings, if you have bodhicitta, if you're a bodhisattva, you're worthy to be bowed down to be respected, to be revered by those beings because you have unlocked a secret that they have not. Yeah. The next one, I won't go through the words because of time, and I'll only give you an extra 10 minutes. Is number 3, which is you outshine the hearers and solitary realizers.
Can you say that again?
Yeah. You outshine hearers. What? Say that again. Hearers and solitary realizers. In other words, a hearer or a listener, it's the word nyen in there. See nyen rang? Nyen is listener. Rang is solitary warrior or solitary realizer. These are 2 types of beings who can be on this path but don't have bodhicitta. In other words, a listener is somebody who can reach a state of nirvana, could see emptiness directly, can hear somebody teach about bodhicitta, that experience of ultimate love for every living being, can even hear it, teach somebody else about it, but they just can't ignite it. They're called a listener, a hearer. Yeah? The other one is a solitary warrior, is somebody who does not have a teacher in this life, but can reach heightened states of awareness up to nirvana. Yeah? And so there's a big debate in monasteries about how the hell can somebody reach these states without a teacher, and the answer is past lives, past karma has produced this result to them. So what this means is that
With no teacher?
yeah, no teacher in this life. Yeah, in this life. Meaning they must have had a teacher in a previous life to have had an understanding of emptiness and ultimate reality. Huh?
Sorry, someone said like the Buddha might said he had many teachers.
Like the Buddha is right though. So number 3 is you outshine those people. What this means is if you have bodhicitta really, you outshine those people who might have seen emptiness directly but not had bodhicitta. And that's a pretty massive thing to say. You outshine people who can reach nirvana but have not had bodhicitta. That's a massive thing to say. So if you are capable of achieving the state of bodhicitta, not the sugarcane one, but the real one, yeah, you outshine people that can reach nirvana and see emptiness. You have to chew on that. Yeah, have to think of what that means to you. It means you shine stronger than them. In fact, they say that when someone reaches a state of bodhicitta, that the universe shakes. Yeah, it pounds with some being on this planet having had that realization. Number 4 is even your tiniest good deed is a Mahayana Dharma. So even like giving a scrap of food to a bird is considered a Mahayana Dharma. Do you know what Mahayana means? Great vehicle, yeah. Which is great capacity. Yeah, it's the highest path, correct. It means you have a large capacity. And you know what Dharma means. So everything you do becomes this big, great vehicle. Everything you do has the equal karmic implications of being a massive impact if you have bodhicitta. That's benefit number 4. Benefit number 5 is the smallest action is the activity of a bodhisattva, which means the tiniest virtue is very similar to the previous one, is the cause for Buddhahood. It shakes the universe. Number 6, a bodhisattva is considered by the Buddhas, by beings who have reached this state. So don't think of Buddha as Mr. Buddha, yeah? Think of Buddhas as beings who have been able to transform their experience. They're beings like you who have been able to transform their experience to have removed every single suffering from every moment of their experience and experience bliss and utter bliss, ultimate bliss, understand how things truly function, and have this capacity for love and care for every living being. So the Buddhas consider you, if you've reached this state of bodhicitta, as one of their sons or daughters. So you are the son or daughter of the Buddhas. It's like, you know, in the royal family, when a prince is born, everybody's hopes go up and go, you know, the royal blood will continue. It's the same feeling for the Buddhas when one of you reaches the state of bodhicitta. The bodhisattvas, this is number 7, consider you as their brother or sister. So other beings on the planet who have had the direct experience of seeing emptiness directly understand the ultimate nature of reality, can act in the world with that understanding. Because of that understanding, they see every living being as an incredible creature to take care of and love, in the same way that a mother loves a child. Those beings that have that Mahayana capacity, that large capacity, those beings walking the planet today, consider you their brother and sister. You're their family, if you reach the state of bodhicitta. Number 8 is you have entered into the Mahayana. You are someone with great capacity. Mahayana means great vehicle, but it means great capacity in the vehicle. It means your vehicle can carry a big load. Yeah, that's what it means. Hardly. And number 9, and I'll leave you with this sort of in 3 minutes. Let's do this. This will be auspicious. Say Sechik, La Sangya. And Se means life, Chik means one, La means in, Sangya means to become a Buddha. It comes from Sangye, yeah. And it means you can become a Buddha in one lifetime. And in brackets I'm going to put the practice of Tantra works for you. So we are, what we're doing now is the open teachings, the logical explanation, the first turning of the wheel of the Dharma. The Buddha had this realization. He started teaching it, how people can remove their suffering. And then there were secret teachings, yeah, on how to do that in one lifetime. And what that means is essentially you begin to experience every living being as a complete and utter angel over there to conspire to help you become a Buddha. You actually are forced to have that experience because of karma. It is possible to become a Buddha in one lifetime if you have the bodhicitta, which means when you enter the secret path, when you begin to learn, that you actually begin to have experiences in this world that guarantee you'll become a Buddha. You have no doubt that the things that are happening to you are the cause of your Buddhahood. Yeah? Which is very nice, if you're interested. But if you think about it, for you to experience every living being as a magical angel that with secret signs telling you how to get to Buddhahood, it means they must love you, right? They must care for you if you experience that way. Understanding karma tells you how the hell would that have begun to happen in the first place. If you understand karma, how would that experience ever come to you? To have everybody conspire to help you. How could you have ever caused that? Anyone? Which is beautiful, right? People love you because you love people. The only way Tantra could ever work, for you to experience every being as a magical creature that's helping you secretly, is if you've planted the seeds, which need to be smaller than the result, where your intent is to change a stranger's world. Some person down the street, like the sad guy in the street this morning. So I know that last few meditations were hard, because we talked about renunciation and how shitty it was to have a human life of a body that decays. That all is still true, okay? However, you can imbue your meditations with utter and complete joy. You can turn them into beautiful, beautiful things. If you just think of a person you love, think of that feeling you have for them. Think about it from their point of view. Grow that feeling in your heart without any restraints at all. Just give it to them. Every happiness you wish upon them. And then why not the next person who also wants to be happy? And then the next one. And then the next one. And actually allow yourself to feel happy that you're even if it doesn't work, right? That you're actually imagining that it could work. allow yourself to be happy for a moment, that you want other people to be happy. I mean, the whole game is to be happy, right? So be happy. So yes, it's true, life is decay and horribleness and all that. You begin your practice from a moment of truth. It'd be ignorant to pretend that everything is happy. Wrong. You got ignorance in there already. Look at it for what it is. But in the shit we're in, there can be love. And there can be happiness. And if you can have it for 2 seconds in your life, you can have it for 4 seconds in your life. And if you figure out how reality works ultimately, you could find the key to make those 4 seconds be no time, be infinite, be beyond time. For everyone that's going the same, that's going through the same thing. Be really happy that you can think about these things. I'm going to open it in a minute because it'll make me really happy.
It's not that.
Oh, okay, what's that?
Isn't life a board game?
Isn't life a board game? Is that what you said? I think life is a board game. Which means that if you do it over and over and over, you get really bored. Yeah. So what I'd like to do next is a couple of things. For those of you who were at the Lung, who was at the Lung? Yeah? The Lung means what? Wind. It also means transmission. You heard directly from the lips of a being who is pretty special, who has learned all this stuff from the 1,000 years in Tibet to his mind directly, all the way back to Je Tsongkapa, the 3 principal paths. You were cordoned off by this red thing. Do you remember? Yeah, and you sat in this cordoned off thing. So I'd like to give every one of you, later when we finish, a snippet of this, so you could remember that you've got this Lung. And if you were not here, there's plenty left for those who weren't, right? And I would suggest you do a little private ritual so it's meaningful for you, which is you could either wear it as a wristband, you could lace it into your undies. You could, I'm saying if you could copy the Tibetan words with pen of how you, from your readings of Lamtso Namsum, onto this thing and keep it somewhere precious. See, the seeds that you had when you had that moment will reignite each time you look at it, each time you touch it, each time you think of it. It's your own little private karmic experiment to see whether or not you could grow this into deep realizations of the 3 principal paths. So I wish that upon every one of you. If you weren't at the Lung, we've got the non-cut version that we can cut just for you, right? But before we do that, let's dedicate all these amazing moments we've had together. Thank you for letting me go over. If you had a moment of goodness in your heart, if you had a moment of great intent, if you got to feel or remember love and you wish it for anyone else, sorry about the blah blah, it's just some funny words and signs, but the intent here is wish it landing upon people who need love. Yeah? Let it expand from these hands of yours right across the globe, touching people like fields of light that just need to feel love or knowledge or wisdom or removing pain. Let it explode from you like a fireball and let it engulf the planet. And even if it's for a second, may it touch people in their heart. Sam? Kukir Jishin Letotran Reraling Shin in the embody Sunge Shindu Mite Yuari Dropen Nanda Shinla Chiparsho Vidam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamninyatayami Dingyoku Sunam Yeshe Tsotsoshin Sunam Yeshe Legend Way Tsongkapa Punito Pasho. And just imagine that being at top of your head, entering your crown of your head and lowering down just in front of your spine until they reach the level of your heart, just in front of your spine. And feel that sensation there of happiness and love and being okay in the world. Whoa. Thanks for coming. Let's open it. Okay, so let me show you. So if you've had